What's up? I'm Big Bob. What's up, Big Bob? It's a very special guest today. This is going to be very informative and very enlightening. But before we start, as always, we give a special shout out to Brenda Ringwood, who's the executive producer and the founder of Becoming the Better You, a foundation that I am involved with and very committed to. Today, we're going to be talking about social media with Robin Wilson and Beverly Boatwright. Did I get that right? Right?
Perfect.
Okay. What is social media?
So social media is not media, that's for sure. It's a place, it's everybody's backyard now, really. We used to, you and I are boomers, right? So we used to, I am, and don't act like you're not, because I can tell you are. And so we used to hang out and talk to everybody in the neighborhood, and now our neighborhood is online. And so that's where social media kind of took us. This is where we have our conversation, share the pictures of our kids, what's going on in our life. We're not hanging over the back fence anymore. We're not hanging out at community events anymore. We're literally on social media. And that's where the eyeballs are right now. We talk about Facebook, 3.2 billion daily logged in users. In the US, it's 1.4 billion. Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of eyeballs.
1.4 billion in the US logged on every day.
People.
Now, those people.
So double that.
Well, it's times 2 eyeballs.
Yeah, 2 eyeballs. So 2.8 eye. Well, I can't say everybody has 2 eyeballs though.
My brother wears a patch sometimes.
Just assume. Just assume most people.
Yeah, we'll just assume they all have 2 eyeballs. So that's it's just where we live now. It's our new reality. It's the new way of communicating, and it's a new way if you're a business owner. It's a new way for you to be using it for marketing and to get in front of where the eyeballs are sitting.
So I'm on a one-man crusade to do away with the term advertising. I don't want to say advertising anymore. And at one time I was a great advertiser. I want to say customer acquisition.
Good deal.
Right. So advertising refers to radio, television, yellow pages, direct mail. But the purpose was customer acquisition.
Correct.
And customer acquisition now is a lot more diversified than just the traditional ways of electronics.
Right.
So that is what I need an education on. And I would love to take this opportunity to pick your brains as to how social media could help me or any other company acquire more customers.
Well, if I were to jump in here right off the bat and go, the way the landscape has changed is we used to have like some real solid attribution, right? Like you could attribute this customer coming into your business or coming into your funnel by this piece of marketing that
how do you hear about it, sourcing it out, and that way you can measure the results. And
right,
if you spent $1 on television, how many gross dollars are you bringing in the front door? We tried that. Yeah.
Right. So now we probably look at about 17 points of attribution before they actually make a decision as far as where they're going to go. And those 17 points could happen all in one day. Like they could have been on Google, they could have hit something on social media, they could have heard a radio ad. The points of attribution, after they finally like hear it so much, because we listen so much at a surface level now, we don't listen to understand, we just listen to grab whatever amount of content that we think we need at the moment, because there's so much data.
We're lazy.
We're so full of, there's so much data coming at us and so much information coming at us, more than when you and I were kids, right? Like we got our hour and a half of TV at night, that was it. And we had 3 channels. And
go ahead.
If that. And, or you sat by the fire and whittled sticks. I don't know what you did.
You listen to the radio.
Fire? No. I was young before there was fire.
Okay. So they have so much coming in that if we tried to absorb everything that was coming through our path right now, our brains would explode. And so it takes about 17 touches for a business to actually plant a seed inside someone's brain to go, hey, I think I want to go check that out. And we see that like with any sales funnels that we build for our clients, we know how long it's going to take to get them down the funnel till they finally take action. And so with that said, then you can't just put all of your eggs in one basket thinking I'm going to get a customer because I did X. You're going to have to do more than what you're, because look, you may be on Facebook and I may be on Facebook, but they may be somewhere else. They may be out here doing search looking for this product or service. And so if you're not in Google or you're not in search, then they're not going to find you. If, the attribution is so much that you have to just have that online presence. Your website has to be tight. Your messaging has to be congruent. It really is just an entire masterpiece sometimes, and it's overwhelming for business owners.
All right, I have two questions. One,
I got two answers.
maybe. One was the referral to all your eggs in one basket have anything to do with the fact that yesterday was Easter?
No, but it did have something to do with the price of eggs.
Going up. Okay. Or hopefully they're coming down. The
I
other,
hope so. I'm tired of stealing them out of chickens' rears. So
they come out of the rears. Anyways, I'm sorry. Anyways, the other question is, how important is branding in the customer acquisition in those 17 messages? If Chuck's floor covering is all over social media, but nobody's ever heard of Chuck's floor covering, are they going to be able to acquire customers?
They will be, absolutely. That could be their only avenue if they wanted to. The majority of people
having branded, how do you develop a branded name to accelerate the quality of leads and the penetration into the marketplace?
Well, a lot of branding, people think it's the name of their company, right? That's their brand. And that's not what it is. Branding is who you are. Like, why do people don't do business with a building, right? With XYZ. They don't do building with Frank Fletcher Toyota. They do business with the people inside of it. They do business with, what does that company stand for, right? Who are they?
But they don't get to know the people unless they come to the store.
Not exactly. No. Consistently on
enlightenment here. Enlightenment.
Yeah. If you're consistently getting your message out on social media and everything matches, that's my big pet peeve. If you've got a Google business profile, your Instagram, your Facebook, your website, and the links on your website, nothing matches, then are you in business or not? Was this something that you started to do and now you don't? As your Facebook hasn't been posted to in 2 years, it's a ghost town. Nobody wants to visit a ghost town.
Is it a hobby or is it a vocation or is it something you're focused and professional at?
Right. And Beverly's right. Like, whenever I do a social media audit for any business, I start at their website every time. Because if they don't, first of all, if they don't have their social links on their website, that's one strike, right off the bat. And then if I click on their links and they go to a 404 error, 402 page error, whatever, they go to some place that doesn't exist, right? Nobody's keeping up with, did we get the right link on there? And so we can't even get these people to take a path, right? And then once I go to their social, is the website on their social, go back to their website. Like, is all of this connected? And we want to make sure that everything is exactly as it should be. And then that's the first thing, right? So we may spend the first 2 weeks when we have a client just cleaning up the mess. Wait
a second. Are you available to take on new clients?
Oh, for sure.
And if somebody wanted to contact you, how would they contact you?
Well, I usually just throw my phone number out here because I'm the one that talks to them all the time, but they can email me at robin@socialclimberpro.com, and I'm sure you'll put that in the show notes.
Well, we will. I don't want your home phone number, by the way.
Nobody has a home phone anymore. Do you?
Beverly, why are you laughing at me?
I'm just thinking about you as that little baby in the deer hide diaper starting the fire. That's right. When the fire was young.
If you were to take on a new client, first you look at their website. You look at the congruency of their messaging. Is it consistent? Is it need to be updated, cleaned, and be more proficient? Wonderful. What do you do next? Well,
then we usually have a really in-depth conversation with them about, What is their company about? What are their core values? What's their culture? Who's their ideal client? You know, where did they last year? Where did they get the majority of their customers? Who were they? What was that demographic? Is there a piece of the pie that's missing that you guys think that you can get? And then what do you offer to that demographic? So we're really kind of looking at like, what is the messaging? I may even go and look at the ads they've placed in the past and see if those are consistent with what their messaging is, right? Like if they're all over we deal with a lot of car dealerships too, and like sometimes their cover photo will say, you know, $299 down gets you a car, but all their ads are $7 down ads. There's not a consistency there. So we're looking for, is their messaging consistent? And then do they put forth enough content to make people know, like, and trust them? Because that's what we want to do before we make a move. We want to know, like, and trust somebody. We want to feel like we do. And
Is that done with video or is that done with the printed word? How do you project trustworthiness?
right. So a lot of it has to do with, you know, what you are putting on social. So, for example, if one of my clients every April supports, it's Child Abuse Awareness Month, right? And they really get behind that every month. They stand firm. They do XYZ for the community. We all get to be part of it. We get to be part of that. Go ahead.
I support Donut Month.
Oh, baby. I quit donuts though. Crap.
Well, I haven't. I like donuts. That's my passion, donuts.
Yeah, I heard.
Okay.
They
So
are yummy.
yeah,
Yeah. So if they're sharing, like, I'll tell you, there's a big mistake that businesses make, and that's that they're very involved in their community and they're very involved in some charities, but they feel like it's being like insincere if they show what they do, right?
braggadocious.
Yes. And
Look,
they
look
just want
at me, I
to
support all these softball teams and all these mom and pop bowling leagues.
right. But it's not, right? So if we think about like the charities or the homeless shelters or any of the things that you have the ability and that you're already helping out with in your community, that you're already doing. And although you're doing it because your heart is in that place, first of all, people want to do business with people like you. And so if they don't know that about you, then they're going to go give their money to somebody who doesn't support anything in the community. And second of all, it also brings an awareness to the need, right? So if one of my clients literally every fifth Friday of the month cooks a breakfast for a homeless shelter. And I told them, like, I need video every time you guys do that. And they're like, no, we just want to do it because it's the right thing to do. And I'm like, no, because other people don't know that there's a need in the community. This is showing them if other people want to get involved with watered gardens, then maybe you showing them that you do it will help them get involved with watered gardens too. It's helping the cause. Don't do it and hide it. Do it and share it, not for your own glory, but for the fact that we're elevating this message out there. And so that's how people come to know, like, and trust you. They see who you are. They know what goes on behind the scenes. Stuff is great. If you have a website and you have a blog on that, written word can be good. You mentioned that. And then also static images, images on Facebook or on any of your social media that really is kind of showing when you celebrate a team member, when you celebrate a customer, all of those things let people inside behind the curtain.
I'd hire you tomorrow. I think you're
Beverly, Bill,
compelling. We're looking, by the way. We're out shopping.
not anymore.
Look no further.
Okay, how much you charge?
Yeah, we don't record that.
Just between you and me. There's only about
Oh yeah.
14
Obviously.
people watching this.
Yeah.
Whoa, can you help promote my podcast?
Absolutely. Who does your podcast production right now? You guys are doing it, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a computer sitting on top of a stack of books, and the sound is probably okay. The lighting is probably okay, but it's not theater, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
It's personalities, and we're driven by personalities.
Absolutely.
Right.
And you have Mahomes behind you, so life is good, man.
I had the what?
Mahomes behind you.
Mahomes. Yeah, the cereal. Oh, by the way, I have a lot of awards back here too. Anyways,
Oh yeah, I see the fish one.
yeah, that's the biggest fish award. Are you a football fan?
Oh gosh, huge.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Mhm.
Chiefs?
Of
Yes.
course.
Who do you think they draft? What position do you think they're going to draft in the first round?
Uh,
Yeah.
I re-
Line.
yeah, they need O-line. They need some O-line help for sure.
Would you take a guard or tackle?
Take a
Tackle.
tackle.
You do know your football. This is good. That was a test. You passed. Way to go. All right. They also need some help on defensive line, maybe another defensive corner, maybe another wide receiver.
Yeah,
think they
we're
need-
looking for some ball handlers too, obviously. But I was so proud of them last year, having the depth in the bench to be able to sustain a good, strong team, even with injuries that we had by big players. So it was good.
Robin, you have a big personality, and it's very, very attractive. It's articulate. It's confident. What does Beverly do?
Hide in the background.
Beverly's in charge of money.
Usually you have a dull, uninteresting person doing all that kind of stuff. Beverly, are you dull and uninteresting?
She's not. Beverly is actually my best friend. And so what she just won't show you guys, and if I video her, she loses her crap over it because she is hysterical. However,
She laughs at all my jokes. She has a great sense of humor.
yeah. Well, she grew up in the pageant world. It was her job to make sure that every man felt funny. It doesn't mean that you aren't. It doesn't mean that you are either.
But edit this part out. That was funny. Very funny. Good for you. You got to zap in and zing it. Yes. Okay. We'll edit that out. Don't worry. So
Why? We don't edit much. So Beverly takes care of all. So here's the deal. I'm in charge of thinking crap up. That's my job. I'm the visionary of the company. Yeah. And Beverly's in charge of either slowing me down or speeding me up or catching all of the crap. I won't
figuring out how to do everything.
Yeah. I won't read a contract. If there's more than 2 paragraphs in an email, I'm forwarding it to her and going, this might be important. You read it.
Yeah,
because
details are not her strong
No.
suit.
Beverly, I might start calling you Brother Adam. My brother Adam is the guy who does that for us.
Yeah, nice.
Matter of fact, he's in charge of the business. I'm just Colonel Sanders now, right? He
Same.
runs the whole business.
That's basically it.
Same.
Right.
It's the same.
Yeah, you're just the pretty face.
Yeah. I'm just the face and she's the brains.
Right. Just we're the pretty faces and they're the brains. I get it.
Yep.
So, what can you do for me?
Oh, well,
Business.
For Big Bob's.
Yeah.
So tell me about Big Bob's.
Well, this is more about you guys, but let's assume you
No,
do
just
it.
tell me. Just tell me. Give me your elevator pitch.
All right. We've been in business 42 years. I started with a $15,000 investment. We franchised. We had stores from Anchorage to Boston, Winnipeg to Corpus. We've done over $1 billion in sales. I sold the franchise company, and now my brother and 2 sons run the local 3-store operation, and I'm Colonel Sanders, and I don't have a job to do anymore.
Got you.
That's why I'm doing this.
So what's your business look like right now? If we were looking at it on a graph, are we up? Are we coming down? Where are we at?
Last year, the industry was down 18%. We were up 13%.
Okay.
Wow, nice.
Right.
So why do you need my help then? If you're kicking everybody's butt?
Because this is the best time to accelerate is when you're doing wonderful and all your competition is struggling. This is the time to put your foot down on their throat and gain more customers, gain more market share, and expand and go.
Good answer. Absolutely.
Great answer, yeah.
It's the time to gobble up.
Right.
market share.
Here's interesting. When is the time to grow, to reinvest? Do you grow and reinvest when things suck? Do you grow and reinvest when things are status? Or do you grow and reinvest when you're having a growth pattern?
Yes.
When you can all 3 times.
All of them is my answer.
But sometimes it's more prudent to wait until you're growing until you try to expand.
Right.
And reinvest and take on more and fight for more market share. As the market is dwindling, that is when you have to put pedal to metal to make sure your market share doesn't.
It's funny. I was a realtor for a long time, and every November, like the first part of November, every realtor would just kind of clock out. Like they
Right.
just wouldn't work November, December. Maybe they'd start working again mid-January, whatever. And I started tripling down during that time. I picked up everything they dropped. Literally, they didn't want to take floor time at the agency. Fine, I would take floor time. They didn't want to take any listings. They want to go look at properties. I did them all. And then by the time that they started picking up steam again,
Your pipeline was jam packed.
yep, I was dominating. And so you're right. So it's like when they start, like, and we're like right now, so in the automotive space where we hang out a lot, right now there's like some uncertainty, right? And one of two things happens. They either step on the gas, the smart ones do, or they slam on the brakes, the dumb ones do. Because right now nothing has happened to them, right? There's just a rumor that something may happen, that they may have tariffs. But we've been through this before. They've been through a vehicle shortage before, and they've already written the blueprint for it in 2020 and 2021. And so why are you guys confused? No, it wasn't your turn. It's my turn.
Thank you.
Rant.
Here's the thing that confuses me a little, politics. They're screaming tariffs, prices haven't changed yet. The tariffs haven't gone in place yet. There is no shortage, anything yet.
No.
Nothing has changed, and they're screaming tariffs. By the way,
Oh, here he goes.
if it's a level playing field and my cost goes up and everybody else's cost goes up, I start celebrating, right?
Yep.
Because I rather make my 30% on $3 than my 30% on $2.
Right.
I make more gross dollars if everything goes up. And because everybody else has fixed overheads, they can't sell it for cheaper. Most of them can't absorb the tariffs, so they're going to add it on and add their margins onto it. This is great for business people that prices go up.
You know why? Because you know what? We don't ever adjust them back down. Nobody ever goes, oh, all that figured out. Let's drop our prices back down.
They're
It
not
never
gonna
does.
stop
We
buying
just set,
cars.
we just set it, yeah. We
They're
just
not
set a
gonna
new
stop
bottom.
building houses. They're not going to stop advertising. Everybody is going to have to step up. Minimum wage goes up.
Yep.
Prices go up.
Yep.
Everybody makes more money. Isn't that a wonderful thing?
Yes.
We're
I
living.
mean, that's exactly what happened, right? Like the cost of everything went up. And so we mandated that minimum wage went up with it. And we walked all the way up there with
Thank
where we
goodness
wanted
your
to go.
prices aren't going up.
Yeah.
Right. Your prices don't go up because it's a service and there's no fixed overhead that dictates that your prices have to go up.
Right.
Are you competitively priced?
Oh, yeah. There's very few people that are even in competition with us. So what we do, organic, social, and really there's not a ton of businesses out there that do what we do. And we've been doing it
We're
since
very niche.
2013.
Mhm.
Okay.
We're not new.
So I wrote a book I think it came out in 11 called Wartime Retail about how you had to adjust after 08 and 9
Mhm.
to pivot and refocus on maintaining your business. Somebody asked me to write a new book after COVID, and I said, I have no idea what we're going to have to do to survive after COVID. I mean, my business went up because of home furnishings and things going in the house, but restaurants, they had to close. Convention centers, movie theaters, they're closing down left and right. There was not one universal answer to how to fix your business after COVID. It was individuals. I mean, it's like the black hole with a death spiral in it. We don't know what's coming next.
Right.
Right.
Or who it's going to affect.
Or how does it affect us?
Right.
Yeah.
Because look, price of eggs go up. I can survive without eggs. Right. Price of meat goes up. I either scrape together a budget and buy meat, or I buy cheaper meat, or I don't buy meat.
Right.
I'll survive. We're all going to survive this stuff. There's not going to be that much adjustment. Yet some would have us scared silly that this is the beginning of the end of the world as we know it.
Well, I mean, if 2020 wasn't, this definitely isn't.
No, this is going to be a boost.
I mean, I was a mortgage lender in 2008. You want to know what my life was like?
Shitty.
Yeah. like COVID has nothing on that. Like I
Right.
literally, I went from closing 28 to 30 loans a month to an underwriter wouldn't sign off on anything.
Right.
I lived that movie, The Big Short. I lived every second of that.
And we survived also. Matter of fact, at my convention, the garb was we survived '08. The company, the shirt that everybody had to wear for the convention was we survived '08,
I love it.
right? Because and what I told people is I don't know what's coming next. And so how can I help? How can I guide? I think your company, your industry has a better handle on what comes next
Right.
in customer acquisition than any other facet of the marketing world.
Well, I'm glad we're talking about '08 because that's really why we started this company. In 2012, we started seeing our economy coming back, right? We started seeing it getting life back in it again, and it was coming back because small business owners were bringing it back. They were the ones that were creating jobs and creating opportunities, and the thing was is that they couldn't afford any marketing. They couldn't afford any advertising. They just didn't. They're the mom and pop. They're the postman and the electrician. They're all of the things, right? You know what it is. You were there. And so we were like, Beverly and I were like, what do we do? What can we do to get these small business owners who are working their ass off to bring our economy back? How can we support them? And so we said, you know what? Social media is free to play. What if we could create something for them where they could have some more awareness, brand imaging, top of mind awareness, and use social media to do it? This was 2012. And we were like, I don't know, let's try it. So we literally we kind of mapped it all out, what we thought it would look like. We had a graphic designer worked for us. We had a project manager work for us. We're like, let's see if we can sell this. And then we're pitching people and nobody's biting. And then one night I was watching live TV, which at the time I DVR'd everything, right? And it was Sunday night and it was midnight. And this commercial comes on for this little boutique called Repurpose Boutique, hip and trendy for less. And their target demographic was like 15 to 19-year-olds. On a Sunday night at midnight, this commercial's on TV. So I write down her phone number and I call her the next day and I'm like, hey, I call the business number and it's her cell phone. The woman just answers. And I'm like, holy crap. And so I said, hey, I saw your commercial last night. And she goes, oh my God, that's awesome. I'm like, not really. Like it was on at midnight on a Sunday night. And she goes, I know, it was the only slot I could afford. And I'm like, okay, here's why I'm calling you. And I just pitched her and she goes, and so we didn't even know what to charge. I'm not even kidding you. We had no idea what to charge at like there was nobody doing this for small business owners. They didn't exist. They were doing it for big companies like Oreo or, Procter and Gamble or whatever, but nobody was doing it for small businesses. And so I told her what we did. And she goes, you know what? She goes, I don't know if you can help me or not, but I have like $300 in my budget. Do you think you could do something with that? I'm like, absolutely. I call the other three and I'm like, oh my God, we have a price. We have $300. I'm so excited. We're so excited. We have like a viable customer. And she was the biggest pain in the butt. Oh my gosh. If we knew the scope of work with that woman, but she was also a walking billboard and she told everybody in town about
us. Our first 10 customers.
If she, well, there's a lot of things about that. It was a great learning curve for you.
Absolutely.
What you need, what you want, what you got to have, and what you have to put up to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure if somebody like her phoned you right now today and said, I got $300 to spend, you say, thank you very much. No, thank you. Right?
Right.
You wouldn't have gotten to where you are today.
No.
If you didn't slip and fall on that first step.
And she was our client for quite a while. And
you made lemonade out of lemons.
Yeah, she never knew she was our first client. She never knew. Like she didn't know until our 7-year anniversary party. She came and we had this big thing made for her because we knew she was coming. And she was like client number 1. And she goes, I was? And we're like, yes. So we, at that point, we'd been friends for 7 years. And then we finally revealed to her she was number 1.
Well, maybe I can be client number 1,000.
Yeah, for sure. We love that.
Yeah.
Well, even if you just make up a number and is television advertising dead?
OTT is probably where you want to be, streaming. I think that if you get with a good enough company, they've got it dialed in well enough to pick your demographic out and to only serve those ads. I'll tell you, it's really hysterical because my mom had psoriasis, my grandma had psoriasis, my brother had psoriasis, and every once in a while I have a tiny little bit of psoriasis. But I'm going to tell you, I'm like, are they just really pushing these psoriasis drugs? Because I think everybody's getting these ads, right? They're like, no, just you. You're the only one getting them. And I'm like, they have that dialed in well enough to know that at some point I looked up something about psoriasis and they're serving me those ads. So OTT, over the top advertising, is probably, if you're going to insist on being in an in-house device somewhere, streaming is probably where you'd want to be. It'd be the best bang for the buck.
Radio?
If you can hook it to a Google number somewhere where you can track the attribution from it, the dealerships like radio a lot, and it takes, like in the Kansas City area, I would think that your saturation would have to be pretty high. And I don't know what the cost is there for that. However, like I said, if you could track it back and you could give attribution to it instead of just going, I think it worked. I have trouble with things that you can't track back.
I understand most business owners think they're the best buyer of product and the best advertiser and the best creator and the best negotiator. I get that. And they don't understand the 80-20 rule because they don't know what 80% or 20% is, but their business grew, so they think they're geniuses. Direct mail.
Depends on if your offer is strong enough. If you're just spamming everybody and you don't know whether they're homeowners or not, you don't have a dialed in data list. I would say that it's, especially for you, like for carpet, right? Like if you're sending to renters, obviously that's a waste of time. You need to know that you're sending to homeowners. In the automotive space, they do direct mail a lot. In insurance, I'm trying to think what's been in my mailbox lately.
Window renewals.
Yeah. Any home services, generally, I think direct mail has a place for, absolutely, but you got to buy those lists properly.
All right.
Very expensive. The whole package is expensive.
Everything's relative.
Yes.
If it gives you the results, who cares?
That's exactly right. It's exactly right. And, a lot of businesses use it. So I can't say that it doesn't work. I just say that a lot of times they just mail to a zip code. They buy zip codes and then they mail.
I've advertised on billboards. I've advertised on flybys over the stadium. I've given out the pens, the calendars. I've radio, television. We've tried it all. I mean,
what's worked best for you?
Back in the day, me getting dressed up and doing my commercials in drag worked very, very good.
Well, but you could still do them now, but you could do them on social. I think YouTube is a great venue for that.
Beard. I'm not going to shave the beard. I made in my 40s.
Makeup it? Would you put makeup on it?
I don't think you have to shave your beard anymore. I mean, you see a lot of the mustaches and the.
Yeah, maybe trim it down to looks like a shadow, but we did those memorable TV commercials, and that put us over the top in branding. But with social correctness that hit our society, it's no longer a effective way of promoting ourselves.
Well, I can see where it could probably be a political hot button now, where it used to be fun, and now it would just be.
I'd love to play women's sports, but it's just not going to work for me.
Well, there's that.
See, you guys are opposites. I love it. I love it. She's laughing her ass off, and you're going, why do I have to listen to this crap?
No, I'm just so happy we have a female referee in the NFL. Well, actually, I have more than one now, but I'm just happy. I used to want to be one.
Really?
Yes, I wanted to be an NFL referee. I wanted to be Jerry Markbright. I mean, he was my idol.
Did you ever referee high school?
No, they didn't let us do that.
No. How about junior high school?
They didn't let us do that.
Yes, they would.
Oh, okay. No, they wouldn't. Okay, so in Joplin, Missouri, when I moved here in 1977, they had to have a school board meeting because in California, where I came from, when I was that age, I was in industrial arts. I didn't want to be in home ec, and I wasn't allowed to do industrial arts or shop class here in Missouri because they had to have a school board meeting to see if it would be okay. They had to vote on whether a girl could be in shop class in junior high.
How did the vote come out?
I won.
There you go. So you fought a battle, you win.
Yeah,
That's okay. It's better than fighting the battle and
that's
losing.
the only one I won.
I don't think so. You're
I
sitting.
mean, at that school.
Oh, okay. Look, I had plenty of battles at schools too, but
Especially
when I went
fishing.
to college, I grew a mustache, and they said, "You're not allowed to have a mustache." And I said, "You are accepting federal funding, aren't you?" They go, "Yeah." And I go, "I think I can grow a mustache if I want to." So we had 4 or 5 battles like that when I was in college.
Bev had that battle last week.
What, you had to shave your mustache?
We waxed it.
All right. So how do you get customers? How do you get new customers?
Honestly, most everything that we get is referral based, and it always has been. Because of the fact that a lot of companies out there, a lot of agencies out there will try to do everything, right? They try to be everything to everybody, and we don't. Like, I don't do digital, I don't do Google AdWords, I don't do search, I don't do display, I don't do any of that. I do social, and I do social so well because I spend every waking moment studying the changes, and it changes a lot. Like, it changes probably, it used to change every 90 days, and
Robin,
now we're probably on 30. Yes,
may I make a suggestion, please?
please.
Hire someone who has the expertise in what you don't have an expertise on, and expand your scope of what you can do with your client once you get them. Because once you get the client, you want to be able to add on more services and add on more revenue than just that's one division.
One vertical.
We do. We
I
do.
mean,
We partner
I'm
with
not saying I'm not
No,
saying you should start producing TV ads. I'm not saying you should start doing direct mail, but you
Right.
should have subcontractors
Oh,
on your
yeah.
Rolodex.
we do. We have partners that we work with that are super good at that, and we don't white label them. People know, like, if you came to us and say, like, I want Google as well, be like, great, Mike's going to be on the call too. Mike has got that dialed in, and all your bill may come to us, but you'll know that a portion that we're paying out to Mike to handle that stuff, and then we pick that up.
You add on to Mike's bill.
Yep, a little bit.
Oh, a little bit. I like the little bit part.
It's only a little bit. Like, if I don't do any work other than I got to chase down some data every once in a while, I'm not
Well, I,
scalping
I
anything.
have 2 challenges.
Okay.
One is I'd like you to get involved with my son Joseph and help him build a bigger, more market share.
Gotcha.
My other passion is with Becoming a Better You Foundation and Brenda. Johnny Avocado and his wife Kenya, who you met,
Mhm.
are in charge of membership. Is there a way that your vehicle can help our organization grow?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We'll have to just look at who our target market is. We spent some time with Brenda last week and got to really understand what her passion is and who she's helping, even whether it's here or in other countries. We've kind of like really got a feel for her heart and her story. And so we've already been putting together a plan for that, and especially for this next event that's coming up in September.
Yes.
September,
Mhm.
to be able to go, look, what does this look like? What is your max capacity? Where can we build out this funnel for you? And we're excited to be part of that. I'm thrilled with what she's doing.
The foundation, which is a umbrella over everything. There's a space for health and wellness. There's a space for financial survival to success. There's a pillar for emotional and spiritual development, and there's a pillar for corporate for community service.
Mm.
Everybody, there's a space for everybody in the pavilion because we all can get better at something. And if we are already perfect, we certainly have the ability to give back and
Yeah,
serve.
exactly.
Mhm.
So I am trying my very best in my latter years to give back my fair share. I've been
How,
blessed.
how old are you, Bob?
I'll be 75 next year.
Oh, you
So
look good.
Yeah.
I'm in a committed relationship, but thank you.
Damn it.
All the good ones are taken, I know. So
All the smart ones are.
So thank you. I
You're
think Was that a,
No, you're welcome. No, I hate hanging out with dumbasses.
yeah, me too. So, well, some of the dumbasses say, anyways, um, service is a gift I give myself to honor my blessings. I've been blessed. I have an obligation to give back.
You do.
I can't just be a taker. I have to be a giver. Now, I've always given on a smaller one-on-one level. Now I have the opportunity to give on a much bigger level.
Right.
And I relish the opportunity. Selfishly, it makes me feel better about myself to be able to give back. So the people that get from what I give, that's an added benefit.
Right.
The primary benefit is it makes me feel good about myself that I was able to give. And I'm trying to recruit as many superstars as possible that will accelerate our message and have it grow faster, not just Kansas City,
Right.
just United
Globally.
States,
Globally.
globally, because
Yeah.
I believe there's something we all can share. We all have something to give back to all of us, the community. So I'm thrilled to death that you guys are excited, and perhaps we'll get more and more and more involved with BTBY.
That's a
Absolutely.
plan. Yeah.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
Johnny's going to be help running um, the membership drive, and I think that is the core platform on how we grow the organization. Not so much through PR or
Right.
famous speakers or free this or free that, but by having memberships that will support the organization on a monthly subscription.
I like it. I think the sustainability of that is a lot more solid.
Right, and that will pay all the bills.
Yeah.
If we can have enough subscribers, we can hire and do more and be bigger and grow faster. But we can't wait for an endowment fund of $5 million to come and pay all the bills. We can't be going out and asking people for checks for hundred thousands of dollars.
Right.
We need that monthly membership fee to come in to support the growth. Well, we got to grow,
Right.
right? If you're not growing, you can't
Dying.
survive.
Yep. You're
That's
dying.
part of your business is if you're not growing, you're sliding backwards. And if you're sliding backwards, you're about to go out of business. So your choices are grow or go out of business. And that's part of your sales pitch is we help people grow.
For sure. It is. And the thing is that we take it so personally. We're not just check a box. Like we did the thing. It didn't work for you. I don't know what to tell you. We're like dig deeper. What else is working in this arena? What else is working in this town? What else is working in this avenue? And we're constantly because social and procuring clients or customers is ever evolving, even how they want to be spoken to, what avenues they want to be talked to on. We also have an outsourced call center here that serves the automotive space as well. And where in the past we could call them and we would have a connection rate of about 25 to 30%. It's now at 3% if we're calling them. And so we had to learn, okay, how do they want to be communicated with? They want to be text now. Okay, great. So now the majority of our context is this. But if we're not learning and we're just going, well, just this just we have to accept 2 to 3%. Like, no, we have to figure out a way to get through to these people who raised their hand and said, I want more information. And so the same with social. We're having to learn all of the time. If this doesn't work for this vertical, what does work? What's working for other verticals just like it?
To great salespeople are not trying to put a square peg in a round hole.
Mhm.
They're trying to put the round peg in the round hole. If you have a round peg, you got to create the round hole.
Yep.
So you mirror your customers, you figure out what they want, you service their needs, not what you're selling, but what they need.
Right.
And it's an ever evolving process, right? Of keep building new round holes to put the round pegs in.
Right. And if you've got that square peg, then you've got to get your knife out and start whittling it down, right? You've got to start changing that peg so that it fits where it needs to be.
See, I would tell you, go find a square hole,
Hmm.
And so it's a natural fit. Andy Reid, we'll go back to football.
Oh, yes, please.
And Andy Reid, greatness supposedly is taking what you do best and finding a way to fit it into his offense instead of telling you what his offense is and you got to change what you do best.
True.
So he's always taking the square peg and putting it in the square hole, even if he has to create a square hole. Right.
Sure.
He never had somebody like Tyreek Hill. So he built his offense for Hill's skill set.
Right.
Never had somebody like Patrick Mahomes. So he built his offense for Mahomes' skill set instead of saying, this is the way I've always coached quarterbacks. This is the offense I run with all my other quarterbacks. He builds the round hole for the round peg and the square hole for the square peg. And that's how he became so successful.
Well, and you can see the opposite of that, right? With poor Russell Wilson, right? They plop him into an offense that doesn't work for the type of quarterback he is.
Right.
And then he's a solid failure, right? He doesn't even get to shine because he was a hell of a quarterback, when he
was a round peg who was thrown into a square hole.
Absolutely. And like they never ever modified that offense for the quarterback that they bought.
Right. And that's why the coach got fired.
And Russell, and Russell moved on.
And Russell moved on and revived his career somewhat.
Yes.
Okay. You make a fascinating team. You really do. I would really relish the opportunity to invite you into our family of vendors and have you help us build our business. I would like to also encourage and do anything I can to facilitate you getting more involved with BTBY than you're already committed to, because I think you guys are absolute superstars and will be successful in everything and anything you touch.
Well, you've done such a great job of making Beverly comfortable because she hates being on a podcast more than anything in the whole wide world. And if you'll notice, her neck isn't red. Her neck usually turns red because she gets so stressed out when she has to do this. And you've done such a great job of making her comfortable.
Let me change that up. So Beverly, let's start talking about you.
Oh, great.
Beverly, where did you go to school?
I went to school in Springfield at Missouri State University.
Oh, that's okay. What did you study?
I didn't finish. I was studying business and left.
Okay. Married, children?
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Congratulations. What?
When you meet her in person, like her story is so amazing that you'll just be like, oh my gosh, it's so amazing.
Well, I think what the
wait a second, your neck is starting to turn red.
Well, yeah, because now we're talking about me, but literally, it was a good thing I met Robin when I did, because I don't know that I could be standing here today. So it was
absolutely
the godsend.
Every yin needs a yang.
Yeah.
Every abbot needs a Costello. Right? You need a partner to balance you.
Yes.
My brother and I are a great balance for each other. His strengths are my weaknesses, right? And so I don't try to emulate him, and he gets to do all the things that he's a superstar at. And I try not to step into his buckets, and he tries not to step into my buckets too often. And it makes for a great team.
I have three management things that like are part of my
philosophy.
It's my business philosophy. I'm going to tell you what it is, right? So we've had as many as 70 employees and as little as 5 before. So, but my philosophies stay the same, and there are 3 tenets. You can write them down if you want to.
I'm going to record them. Okay.
Your next book.
I'm going to record them.
So number 1 is not it. Right? As someone brings something to me and they're like, hey, do you know how to do blah, blah, blah? And there's like 7 other people that know how to do that. And I don't know why they jumped straight to the top of the food chain. I just yell, not it. And I walk away. They can go find somebody else. That's not my job.
Right.
Number 2 is mind your business. She hasn't quite picked this one up yet.
I get told that a lot.
Mind your business. Literally, they want to bring a bunch of garbage and lay it at your feet all the time and want to get you involved. I'm like, look, it's none of my business. And so I'm constantly like, if they want, I'm like, mind your business. Just none of that is any of your business. Get out of my office. And then number 3 is I'm bored. any meeting that really takes longer than my attention span and they start repeating themselves again, I literally just say, I'm bored, and I walk out of the room. I have the happiest
Time
life.
to end this podcast yet?
All of this is the true story.
Literally, and then when they're crying and they need a hug, she sends them down.
Look at he's gone. I'm
He's
bored.
gone, I'm bored. Yes.
I love it. You're a quick learner.
What does that mean? So we will meet face to face. This is just the beginning of
On the street.
a beautiful relationship. You're too young to understand where that line came from. Casablanca.
Oh.
So anyways, yeah, that was a test to see how gray your hair actually is.
It's real.
Oh, it's
Real gray?
over there.
The black ain't and the blue ain't, but the gray is real.
I don't see the blue. Oh, let me see more of the blue. Oh yeah,
Like a
I thought that was just lighting.
Oh.
Oh.
The
It's
one-
branding. It's
And
branding,
her-
baby.
Her nails are always blue.
Well, I can't show you my brand. Anyways,
Big Bob.
Beverly, you really do have a delightful sense of humor. Ladies, it has been my pleasure. Thank you very,
Ours
very
as well.
much. We will be in touch. Everything is hunky-dory. Thank you for sharing your story on the What's Up Big Bob podcast. I hope you look at some of our other episodes and teach Brenda how to make this so it really grows and has possibilities.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
If you're thinking about going to one of the events that Brenda puts on for BTBY, I highly suggest it.
What sets BTBY apart is how it blends business growth with personal development. And it's not just an event, it's an experience.
They bring in the right people, they bring in the right coaches, they bring in the right experts, and they really help you become a better version of yourself.
The stories shared by the speakers are raw, real, and relatable. Attendees see themselves reflected in those stories, and the energy in the room is filled with wisdom, passion, and real-life breakthroughs.
I went to the Becoming the Best You event this weekend, and it was absolutely amazing.
This conference absolutely has impacted and changed my life.
This is my winning season.
Even as a speaker, I was listening to the other speakers and learning different things I could do in my business.
I am very excited because I'm going to be with Brenda Ringwood in Kansas City for the event in September.
If you haven't been to a BTBY experience yet, I highly encourage you to attend the next one. If you're ready for change, this is the place to start.